We pass to the second presenter in the evening. It will be Mary-Belle Cruz from Mexico and USA. And the title, is Mary-Belle present? Here you are, perfect, welcome. The title of her presentation is Use of Managed Aquifer Recharge to Improve Water Management in Arid and Semi-Arid Regions of Mexico. Mary-Belle, please.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary-Belle. I'm a student at the University of Arizona. And today I will present part of my dissertation. My co-author is the Dr. Sharon Mary-Belle. She is the director of the Water Resources Center of the University of Arizona. And thank you for this invitation. Thanks. So first, this is the outline. I want to present first what are the conditions in Mexico, what is the condition of groundwater, what are the challenges, and what are the opportunities that we have, and MAR in Mexico, what is happening with MAR. Second, what is the methodology that we were following, and main results today, MAR projects, where are located, what are the types of projects that we have, what are the main objectives, and second, the groundwater governance and MAR in Mexico, and what are the main gaps that we found in the legal framework, and how we are proposing to addressing these gaps. And finally, the conclusions. So just maybe you are aware where is Mexico, but just in case you don't know where is Mexico, we are close to the US. We have a really big border between Mexico and the US. So first, what is happening with groundwater in Mexico? So most of the aquifers are overexploited or contaminated because of the pollution. Sometimes mining companies, there are antique mining companies, sometimes also, especially in the northwest region of Mexico, there are some aquifers have been contaminated because of seawater intrusion. Also, in the southern region of Mexico, we have kind of the similar problem. So how can we address this problem? So, but also regarding to groundwater, we have this problem, as I mentioned before, overexploited, contaminated. However, we have, especially in the summertime regions, we have floods, but in the same year, we have drought. In the same coin, we have two sides, floods and drought. For example, in northern region, hurricanes and tropical storms that we have in summertime can have much water as 1 year of water. However, in Mexico, we don't have the infrastructure to manage this water, to storage this water, to keep this water, but in the future, we can use this water. What is happening with MAR in Mexico? We found there is a lot of information regarding to MAR. There are projects that have been conducted since 50 years ago, 50 years ago. However, and these projects have been focused on several objectives: to replenish aquifers, to restore polluted aquifers, to solve land subsidence, but also to support environmental services. It's uncommon, especially because we are always thinking about the anthropogenic necessities. In this case, we have some ideas or some proposals to try to use MAR to support environmental services. What is our methodology that we were following? We are conducting a systematic literature review, a peer-reviewed publication in English and Spanish, using keywords as MAR, Mexico, artificial recharge, water recharge, but also we were conducting a literature review asking for reports, especially governmental reports, to try to identify information that has been not published, especially not in journals. There is some great literature. Also, we were analyzing the Mexican legal framework, who is regulating that is regulating MAR to identify what are the gaps or aspects that could be clarified. And the first legal framework that we found is obviously the Constitution, that is the main legal framework that we have regarding water, law of the nation's water, and the Mexican official regulations. What are our main results today? First, we found that there are in Mexico around 10 projects or facilities, around 10, that are using stormwater or are proposing to use stormwater, and 6 that are proposing to use treated wastewater. However, I have to say there are different types of projects. One is research proposals that are kind of in paper. There's ideas, the people who is working for the government or who is doing some consultant for the government or for institution are proposing some MAR projects, but also there are some ideas local for the local communities. Also, we found there are pilot projects. They are conducting research, they are getting information, and they are creating background information with these pilot projects. And finally, we found that there are facilities that are actually working. This is the geographical distribution that we found regarding to MAR projects. The green color is this, there are the states we found MAR projects. Basically, as you can see, mainly are located in the northern region of Mexico, basically in the semi-arid and arid region of Mexico. Just a reference, in the northern region of Mexico, we have precipitation around the 200 to 400 millimeters per year. In the central region can be 700 to 1,000. In the southern region, we can find states with more than 1,000 millimeters per year. There is a huge difference between one region and another region in Mexico. So one example that is working right now is located in San Luis Rio Colorado. As you can see, it's kind of the corner of Mexico. There is on the border between Mexico and the US. They are recharging 8.6 million cubic meters per year, and they are using treated wastewater. And there is another example that is also located in northern region of Mexico. It's in Chihuahua. Also, it's a region, it's a semi-arid region. They are using the stormwater. In both cases, this project has been managed by the local authorities, by the municipalities. We found also the main objective of the MAR projects are to replenish the aquifers, but also to try to solve land subsidence, especially in the central part of Mexico. Maybe some of you know the problem in Mexico City. That is a really big problem with land subsidence, especially because of the groundwater extraction in Mexico. So what is the groundwater governance in Mexico? As I mentioned before, the main legal framework is the political constitution of the United States of Mexico, as the basement of any other legislation. And the second is the law of the nation's water. And in Mexico, the water management, the groundwater and surface water is centralized. The federal government is the main authority who is in charge for the water management, but also municipalities have responsibilities regarding water, especially for drinking water and wastewater treatment plants. But also, groundwater governance includes participation of the users as a citizen bodies who is helping the federal government to making decisions or to involve in some projects. We have the groundwater technical committees and the basin councils. What are the main gaps that we found in the legal framework? First, as I mentioned before, there are several projects that are using treated wastewater. However, the law of the nation's water does not include a definition of wastewater. So if you are conducting a project using wastewater, there is no clear definition what kind of water, what are the responsibilities that you have if you are using this water. But also there is no definition, legal definition of the stormwater. Also, the law does not include what are the specific regulations that you have to follow if you are trying to create an MAR project. Also, there is no information about MAR project using stormwater. And regarding the municipal water agency, usually the municipal water agency can sell, can exchange the wastewater that they are generating in wastewater treatment plants. However, if they are recharging this water, they lose the rights that they have to use this water. There is no clarification about the water rights that the municipalities can have in case of they are recharging this water. And finally, maybe is the most important, after the water recharge, the legislation, there is no clarification how this water is going to be allocated, who's going to be entitled with this new water. So how can we are proposing to addressing these gaps, include legal definition about reclaimed water and stormwater in the law, define a protocol to allocate this new water that has been recharged, especially if we are trying to increase MAR projects to solve this problem about groundwater. Also delineate what are the responsibilities that the municipalities have to manage the wastewater that has been recharged. What are our main conclusions? There are a lot of information that has been providing for MAR projects, but also most of these projects have been successful, and these projects have been managed by the local authorities. And most of the MAR projects, as I mentioned, as you see in the map, have been created in arid and semi-arid regions of Mexico that have a short but intense rainy season. So, and finally, the legal framework needs clarification to increase MAR projects in Mexico. This is my contact information, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mary-Belle, for this broad scope presentation.
Thank you.
We have time for a question, if possible, between question marks, please. Please. Yes, Tim, wait for the micro. Okay.
Hi, my name is Tim Parker, and I'm from California, but I've been to Mexico a few times. And I guess one thing that I find is one of the big challenges, and I'm wondering what you think about this, is that there are a lot of plans that have been developed, and the groundwater resources are over-allocated, yet they're permitted. So it seems like that's a starting point. And what are your thoughts on how to deal with that issue? Because if you do a managed aquifer recharge and then it's already over-allocated, how do you manage the control of that?
Good question. Good question. I want to try to give my answer. Maybe I'm wrong. So I think that is the best way to try to control the over-allocation can be related to the farmers, to involve really the farmers to manage their water, also to incorporate in making decisions in the groundwater management. And MAR and this over-allocation, that is maybe is related because most of the groundwater has been over-allocated and can be solved using MAR. So as I present two examples, I think the key actor in this process are municipalities, maybe because they are really trying to solve this problem using MAR, and they are doing by themselves with any support from the federal government. So that is something that I didn't mention, but in all this project they are doing using, in the case of San Luis Rio Colorado, for example, they get money from the NAT Bank, the North American Development Bank, that is the North Mexico and the US. And in the case of Chihuahua, they are managing these facilities using their own money. They are not receiving any support from the federal government. And maybe if the federal government is now in the picture, should be better.
Yeah, and you know, I just think that's one of the legal challenges, and you might want to think about that in terms of it's not specific to MAR, but it is needs to be addressed. So that was all I was thinking. So thank you very much for your presentation. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary-Belle.